My compatriots, it is 1 year today since our administration came into office. It has been a year of triumph, consolidation, pains, and achievements. By age, instinct, and experience, my preference is to look forward. Prices have been declining since 2014, but due to the neglect of the past, the country was not equipped to hold the economy from declining. The infrastructure, notably rail, power, roads, were in a decrepit state. All the 4 refineries were in a state of disrepair. The pipelines and depots neglected. Huge debts owed to contractors and suppliers had accumulated. 27 states could not pay salaries for months. In the northeast, Boko Haram had captured 14 local governments, driven the local authorities out, hoisted their flags elsewhere. Insecurity was palpable. Corruption and impunity were the order of the day. In short, we inherited a state near collapse. On the economic front, all oil-dependent countries, Nigeria included, have been struggling since the drop in prices. Many oil-rich states have had to take tough decisions similar to what we are doing. The world, Nigeria included, has been dealing with the effects of the 3 significant and simultaneous global shocks starting in 2014. 70% drop in oil prices, global growth slowdown, normalization of monetary policy by United States Federal Reserve. Our problems as a government are like that of a farmer who in a good season harvests 10 bags of produce. The proceeds enable him to get by for the rest of the year. However, this year he could only harvest 3 bags from his farm. He must now think of other ways to make ends meet. From day one, we purposely set out to correct our condition, to change Nigeria. We reinforce alignment between monetary policy and fiscal policy. We shall keep a close look on how the recent measures affect the Naira and the economy. But we cannot get away from the fact that a strong currency is predicated on a strong economy, and a strong economy presupposes an industrial productive base and a steady export on which we can build enduring change. An important first step has been to get our housekeeping right. So we have reduced the extravagant spending of the past. We started boldly with the Treasury single account, stopping the leakages in the public expenditure. We then identified 43,000 ghost workers through the integrated payroll and personal information system that represent pay package totaling 4.2 billion naira stolen every month. In addition, we will save 23 billion naira per annum from official traveling and sitting allowances alone. Furthermore, the efficiency unit will cut costs and eliminate duplications in ministries and departments. Every little saving helps. The reduction in the number of ministries and work on restructuring and rationalization of the MDAs is well underway. Once this work is complete, we will have a leaner, more efficient public service that is fit for the purpose of changing Nigeria for the good and for good. As well as making savings, we have changed the way public money is spent. In all my years as a public servant, I have never come across the practice of padding budgets. I am glad to tell you now, we not only have a budget, but more importantly, we have a budget process that is more transparent, more inclusive, and more closely tied to our development priorities than in the recent past. 30% of the expenditure in this budget is devoted to capital items. Furthermore, we are projecting non-oil revenues to surpass proceeds from oil. Some critics have described the budget exercise as clumsy. Perhaps, but it was an example of consensus building, which is integral to democratic government. In the end, we resolved our differences. We have, therefore, delivered significant milestones on security, corruption, and the economy. In respect of the economy, I would like to directly address you on the very painful but inevitable decisions we had to make in the last few weeks, specifically pump price of fuel and the more flexible exchange rate policy announced by the central bank. It is even more painful for me that a major producer of crude oil with 4 refineries that once exported refined product is today having to import all of its domestic needs. This is what corruption and mismanagement has done to us. And be openly and transparently used in funding developmental projects, and the public will be informed. On the Niger Delta, we are committed to implementing the United Nations Environment Program report and are advancing cleaning up operations. I believe the way forward is to take a sustainable approach to address the issues that affect the Niger Delta communities. Re-engineering the amnesty programs is an example of this. The recent spate of attacks by militants disrupting oil and power installations will not distract us from engaging leaders in the region in addressing Niger Delta problems. If the militants and vandals are testing our resolve, they are much mistaken. We shall apprehend the perpetrators and their sponsors and bring them to justice. The policy measures and actions taken so far are not to be seen as some experiment in governance. We are fully aware that those vested interests who have held Nigeria back for so long will not give up without a fight. They will sow divisions, sponsor violence. Meanwhile, the first steps along the path of self-sufficiency in rice, wheat, and sugar, big users of our scarce foreign exchange had been taken. The labor-intensive farming enterprise will boost the economy and ensure inclusive growth in long-neglected communities. Sufficient intervention funds through the Bank of Agriculture will provide targeted support. Concerns remain about rising costs of food such as maize, rice, millet, beans, and gari. Farmers tell me that they are worried about the cost of fertilizers, pesticides, and the absence of extension services. The federal and state governments are on the same page in tackling these hurdles in our exports that increase food production and ultimately food security. I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation for the increasing role that our women are playing in revitalizing the agricultural sector. Modern farming is still hard and heavy work, and I salute our women in sharing this burden. A society that fails to recognize that, to quote the distinguished economist Amartya Sen, and I quote, "Poverty is not just a lack of money. It is not having the capability to realize one's full potential as a human being," unquote. So today, I am happy to formally launch by far the most ambitious social protection program in our history, a program that both seeks to start the process of lifting many from poverty, while at the same time creating the opportunity for people to fend for themselves. In this regard, 500 billion naira has been appropriated in the 2016 budget for social intervention programs in 5 key areas. We are committed to providing job creation, opportunities for 500,000 teachers and 100,000 artisans across the nation. 5.5 million children are to be provided with nutritious meals through our schools, feeding programs to improve learning outcomes, as well as enrollment and completion rates. The conditional principle. We are ready partners in combating terrorism, cyber crimes, control of communicable diseases, and protection of the environment. Following on the Paris Agreement COP21, we are fully committed to halting and reversing desertification. Elsewhere, we will intensify efforts to tackle erosion, ocean surge, flooding, and oil spillage, which I referred to earlier, by implementing the United Nations Environmental Program report. We are grateful to the international community, notably France, the United States, the United Kingdom, and China, for their quick response in helping to tackle the recent Ebola outbreak in our sub-region. We also acknowledge the humanity shown by the Italian and German governments in the treatment of both people, many fleeing from our sub-region because of lack of economic opportunity. We thank all our partners, especially several countries in the European Union. We appreciate the valuable work that the United Nations agencies, particularly UNICEF, ICRC, the World Food Programme, have been doing. We must also appreciate the World Bank, the Gates Foundation, the Global Fund, and Educate a Child of Qatar for the excellent work in our health, education, and other sectors. Fellow students, let me end on a happy note to the delight of all. 2 of the abducted Chibok girls have regained their freedom.